hope everybody's having a awesome weekend. Of course, I hope traders were green yesterday and investors alike. More importantly, right now, I hope everybody's having a long weekend, getting a break, getting some rest, relaxation, maybe even some study time. But, we need family time. We need that time to ourselves. We need some mental, stress free candle stock market. What's it going to do type time. Uh, need family time. Fathers, special day, special weekend for me. Fathers, I hope you have an awesome weekend. You guys work hard, most of the time underappreciated. As fathers, we'll go the extra mile to provide for the family, and a lot of times end up neglecting ourselves as men. So congratulations. Hope you're having a great weekend. Everybody enjoy the long weekend. Want to do the trade ideas list early. I like to do it in pre-market, so it gives everybody an early pre-market idea of where the market's going, kind of what I'm thinking at that point in time as well. Going to do it today. I for one, just in case somebody need to know where put the call ratio is, or the McLaren oscillators, or anything like that, what CRUDE's doing, just to give everybody an idea for the long weekend for their research of where things are. I also added some weekly charts, so this is going to be a few minutes longer than normal, and I like to keep this short in the mornings. But we added some weekly charts on, not everybody, but on some of the bigger stocks, bigger name stocks, just like SPY, Q's, Tesla, not McDonald's, Apple, Microsoft, IWM, some of those, AMD, some of those, so we can see get an idea of where they may be going next. So this is AMC, still puzzled to how this is the first chart. I need to figure out how to get that little apostrophe there down so it gets back in order. CRUDE should be the first chart here. So as you can see, CRUDE is in a downtrend, and due to the CRUDE being in this downtrend, we have been saying go short on the energy plays that we, were able to play to the upside for so long, but they are the last ones to break down in this market. There's just no place left to hide right now. So as they're breaking down, we're going in short. It's hard to, like, my opinion tells me that, gas prices as high as they are and steady rising, that there's more gas in the tank for these plays. But right now they have broken below levels of interest. There's opportunities and money to be made. You can see the put to call ratio. We're right back at the 113-ish area. Yesterday we actually pushed towards the bearish zone and then come back. We are still deep in the bearish zone. This is I look at it a little different than most traders. Most traders are looking at 97 to 100 area is neutral. I like to look at it as 92.50 to be neutral. Anything below that, we're in the neutral zone. Anything above that, we're in the bearish oversold zone. This is the extremely bullish zone clean down here. So we're a long way from where we were in extremely bullish. We're, way back in here. This is COVID, just to give you an idea. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, you can see this was what the put to call ratio looked like during COVID. So we are definitely, and you can also see we spent a lot of time down here when I started trading. It was during the financial crisis, and we spent a lot of time down here versus, the extremely bullish time after COVID. Extremely bullish, everything got way overvalued. Even with everything going on in the world, the price action on the charts, if nothing was going on, the price action on these charts, especially on the SPY, you could see it was screaming for a pullback and had been screaming for a little while. So this is the McLaren oscillator for the NASDAQ. You can see we're at a negative 68. This is pretty much neutral. 200 is extremely hot, overbought, or oversold, I'm sorry, in either direction, actually. So down here would be extremely oversold. Up here would be extremely, overbought. So we did cool off a little, quite a bit. With the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, we are still in the oversold territory. 200, like I say, is extremely oversold. So we are still in the oversold territory. So just signaling that we could possibly be getting a little rally come in. And I definitely thought it was possible. We're seeing crude pullback. We've seen the dollar pullback. We talked about how this may form a handle here, but we didn't expect this big down candle like that. But it did recover quite a bit yesterday. This MACD's pension chart looks good here. It really does. The dollar looks strong, and that's bad. The dollar breaking out of this base here looks really strong versus the market would prefer a cooled off dollar. Dollar looks like it wants to run, and that makes it hard on the market. VIX, this 35 area is a big area. If we continue to pull back, this is the area to watch. If we can, if the VIX does cool off, you can take a trade down to the 9 on your daily. We can trade. Well, you can trade the VIX, but you can trade UVXY calls or puts on this. And right now, if the market does push, then there's a chance that the VIX could come down to the 9 easily without, before finding a decent level of support. If we continue to pull back, we can watch for the VIX to go up. But that 35 is a big area for that to take out. It's going to take some fear in the market to take 35 out. Between 35 and the 36ish area for it to continue to push up above there. The norm, looking back a few years ago, if you look back on the chart, you can see the normal feared price was about 55, 50 in that area. And for some reason, there's just, the charts, things have changed over the years. That just can't seemingly to get that over 35. It's just been a really big area. This is Apple. Let's go back 1 second. You can see Apple, just looking bad here, down here in the 131 area, just looking really, really bad. Just a bad looking chart. And this is all over the market. We're seeing it everywhere. Avi, we were short on this. Right now, we're expecting a pushback up to support to put in a lower high. We'll take a look at it. So, we had this high, formed this high. We were short right here, come down. We were expecting another high, just a lower high. Went short, a bigger pullback than what we originally thought. I figured it would find a little area in here, then go back up and test resistance and then come down. But it comes straight down. But right now, I'm expecting it to go up and at least touch this 9 to put in another lower high before the next leg down. All right, AMD, we had this bear flag on the daily. You can draw a line right through here. So basically, this bear flagged right into a trend line and then breached support and moved down. We called for it. We talked about this chart last week. Before this candle was open, we had this chart up and we said that this bear flag here, flagging into the 50, and not really doing very well, struggling with the 20. If we opened up below this flag that, or out of this support, the trend line here, the bottom side of the flag, if we opened up below that we would go down this week, and we definitely went down. We actually cleared the bottom of the flag, which was more downside than what I expected. And this whole week, that big move down, this MACD is pinching, rolling right over. It looks like it wants to continue even lower. And it can very easily go a lot lower as well. Let's go look back. Somehow we ended up with 2. Okay, we'll have to take care of that. Somehow we ended up with 2 AMD charts in there. I also want to point out that we have a volume profile gap. This can create a vacuum. If we can get into this area, we can get sucked down. The only bad thing is the 20s rate, or I'm sorry, the 200 MA is right there, and we can definitely find see a reaction there. If we make it that low, this would be the next level to watch right there. Sorry, this one right here. So you're right at about 80-ish. I should have put a tag on that, but looks like you're right about 80-ish. We should see some support there. If we don't get a bounce there, then if we get below that line, I would expect to continue a lot lower. Affirm. So we had this diamond pattern, we called for a bearish move. We actually got it. You can see it worked its way down, come back up, tested support, almost tested support, come back up like it wanted to test support. You can see it tried to get below the Bollinger Band and worked its way back in, pulled back another day, tried to push up yesterday. Looks like it just needs a flag off the 9 to continue to push down. So you got a firm, we got a gap up here. This is not a bad looking chart here. Kind of a flat bottom, but just put in a nice little, almost like a little cut base here. It's not textbook, but you can see it hit that gap, and we talk about it all the time. It's 81% of stocks go back up, test their gap, and pull back at the edge of the window. They test the window and pull back, then go back and fill the gap. So that was pretty much a textbook move of how we explain and how we talk about price waves and what to expect. So that was textbook for what we're doing here at Trend Catalyst. You see, AMC, we had a gap fill. Not a bad day yesterday. A lot stronger, showing relative strength. And one of the things we're talking about all the time is, well, it's just to help understand the market and how, what's going on in the market. And one of the things we say all the time is when we're pulling back, they could always come after these meme stocks. And looks like AMC had a really good day. That's why we keep them on the radar. I'm not a collector of AMC shares, but I am a trader, and I will trade anything that moves. It's just what we do. So you can see AMD's traded pretty flat the last 2 days here. Not a lot of range into it. That's AMD's 15-minute. This is Amazon. We called for bearish here, got that down. Now we're coming down here, tapping on this support level here. I need to get some tags on each candle so we know the exact prices of them, where the support level is. But we're tagging on this support. You can see hit it once. That right there was a double bottom. Got a launch off from it. This time we're testing it. The 9's working its way down. The 20's starting to turn. The 50's still coming down. The 200. These are all descending moving averages now. So they're letting us know the stock is clearly into a downtrend. If we cannot bounce off the support, and you can see the reactions here, it's been a decent support so far, but it's just not looking like we're too ready to move off from it. And when we do, we get slammed right back on it. So big spot here with this 9 coming down on it. Very big spot for Amazon. Amazon needs to push up and take that 9 out, and it needs to do it now before the 9 pins it and pushes it below. All right, Apple 15-minute chart. You have this gap up here. You can see gap, tested it, pulled back. So it retested it, still not ready to take that out. So that's the one thing to watch for right now for Apple. We need to get into this gap or yesterday's low if we want to go short. That gap is it's a huge spot for Apple. There's room to make money up to it, but you have to be prepared. We're able to trade small moves with options and still make decent money. As long as there's a dollar amount value to move, we can still make decent money on them. But you have to be prepared. When you have to know there's a level there and be prepared for that level. This is Apple's weekly. You can see we come down, tested this support level here. You can look back. This is the weekly chart. It's a 2.5-year chart. You can see we come up and seen a reaction at this level. So it was rejected from here. Very good level to use for a support. You can see this weekly candle almost touched it and pushed. We got to end up getting a doji out of it. The 9 is working its way down. The 20 is working its way down. This 50 is starting in the 200. They're still ascending. But if these guys roll, it's not going to be too long before they start to angle down. And if they roll on this weekly, probably going to be a lot more downside. Watch this level next. Looks like the 119.11. If this 126-ish area can't hold, 119.11 is the area to watch. And taking them off the weekly, you can look at this. You can give it a little bit of change in there. That support, it could be 120. It's what I prefer to do is go back and look at look at a weekly chart, get a good idea, because your higher your time frame you taking a level off from, the more significant that level is. But it's what I like to do personally is take a good look at the weekly chart, get the level, then go back and try to find that exact chart or exact level on the daily chart, and you can fine tune the change out a little bit and get a little bit better idea. You have a lot more data because you have more candles onto a daily chart to work with versus a weekly chart. You have one candle for every 5 days. On a daily, you have the 5 candles, and you can get a better idea of what that. So we're flagging here on a weekly. You can get a really good idea to see what the flags look like on the daily. Boeing's just been a beast, relative strength here. This is the next level to watch right here. Watch the top of that group of candles to take this out. I keep talking about how Boeing doesn't hold its pops. It's been doing a very good job of holding its pops. We could get up to this 50 here on a daily. We could look at the MACD. MACD not as wide as we would like to see it. We got good histogram bars, and so far we got a decent gap opening up. I would like to see it wider, faster. You can see right here in the same amount of distance. If you measure the distance there, you can see how much wider that is. So I would like to see that mouth wider, but so far, look at the expanding volume coming into it, showing relative strength. You're getting expanding volume, showing momentum. Uh, there's a good chance that Boeing could continue to push here. Look how strong this 15-minute chart looks. Grinding right up through the levels. These levels were already here. None of these lines were just put in. So, back here when we were tracking it, it's pull back and continue to move its way up through all of these the levels as it pushes up. You almost. It's not, but it's almost. You have volume in that area for those couple days, loaded with volume in that area. So it's maybe we could see a little more upside. I mean, I think it's capable. This market it could use a leader, and Boeing Boeing is a good American company. Been building aircrafts for a long time, and I would definitely not mind to see it come in and try to help lead this market up. That's what the market needs, is some leaders. Needs leadership. Cleveland Cliff down here, almost putting in a double bottom here, trading very flat. Take a look at the daily. Yeah, you can see very, very flat here, tiny doji, but that could be, this may be, and we are extended here just to get back in the Bollinger Bands. Maybe we could see a push up, in the Bollinger Bands, we could actually see a push up to the mean, which would be the 20, but maybe we can get a little push here up to the 9, or just extended down here. You can see how you're seeing the candles telling you right there, you're getting a lot of rejection to the downside. CVX, Chevron, this is the daily. We're pulling back. We said we broke below this 20. We said, let's go short. Let's get in there and get some of it. RSI is down below your 30 area, getting deep into what is called the oversold zone, even though it's not an oversold, overbought indicator. I'm sorry, but if you're looking at it like that, that's not what it's for. The MACD is dumping. It's just not, a relative strength indicator. It's not an oversold indicator. It does help you identify when, you've pulled back a little too much, but it's not like there's a certain number. Once it gets there, you can all of a sudden expect this big pop. It just doesn't work like that. And a lot of new traders think it, they think it does. So CVX 15-minute chart, you can just see, man, we've just been slamming right down. And, we've been saying that oil crude's weak. Been talking about Biden going to Saudi Arabia. So that was, helping be bearish on oil because, he was going there. He was definitely going to bring up crude. And can you please pump more? He's actually blaming the oil companies right now, but he needs to look at OPEC as well because they are the ones who don't want to increase oil production, because those countries that are OPEC members are making a lot more money by not increasing oil production. That is one of the biggest problems versus the ExxonMobil, he was blaming some of these companies, and I'm not saying, they're not getting a little greedy. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that OPEC plays a bigger part. So when he was in Saudi Arabia, that's one of the main countries he needed to talk to right there about that, and quit picking on American companies so much. Um, ExxonMobil, pull way back here. Congratulations! I know at least one member was messaging me while we were trading. He got in on this, had a very nice play on this. Proud of him. He's not been trading super long. Proud of him coming here, going to work, putting that discipline, and he's going to work. He's not focusing on money. He's focusing on the skills. He's learning the skills, and his members are now learning. Quit focusing on the money just for a short period of time. Focus on the skills. The market's not going nowhere. When you get the skills, the money just starts rolling in. Actually, gets to be a little unbelievable. GME, 200's resistance here. You can see if we do try to push back above all our major moving averages here, if we do try to push, watch your 200 showing relative strength in the market. MACD, look at that MACD. That MACD wants to pinch and open back up. You're seeing relative strength in your RSI as well. I prefer to use the comparison method, and GME does have relative strength versus the market right now. So GME's 15-minute chart. This is a nice setup here. You can draw you could come clean back here and draw a trend line. Probably a little shorter would be better to draw it up here. If you turn your pre-market data off, it would definitely look a little better. You can draw a line across the top and get you a little ascending type triangle out of this. GME may have some upside come Tuesday. The Qs, you can see I drew two different trend lines on here, and both of them are lining up with other candles. You're getting a wick there, candle there, hitting a wick here, coming right in for support. Come off of this area, you can hit this. I should have moved this line up so it's touching that candle, touching here, right through here, finding support. So just trying to look for some ideas of where support is and what's holding it there. I don't want the market to move any lower. I may not have put a weekly in here. This I meant to. I hope I did. I expected the weekly to be next. You can see we had a gap up there. We come back down, filled it. Thursday was the low for the Qs. We didn't. SPY seemed a little weaker. SPY put in a new low yesterday, and I thought the Qs did as well. To be honest, I'm checking now. No, the SPY did put a new low in yesterday. Looks like the Qs did not. So Thursday's low is still the a major level for us. There we go. You can see this trend line right here. That's why I was trying to draw that trend line, just to try to get an idea. See this tight little channel, support, bang, resistance, downtrend, bang. See how we're getting back to this level even quicker. So we rode this level, we went up, and it trended down to get back to this level. Went up and bang. It's just showing you that the market's progressively getting worse. The faster them levels are coming. If we were going to the upside, I would say there was probably a breakout coming to the upside. If you're testing, the quicker you're testing your levels, the repeats of the test is coming quicker. Usually a sign of a breakout coming. Look at this MACD. We're just bearish, expanding bearish volume. The momentum's to the downside. It's just not a very, very rosy market right now. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with everybody. This is the type of market that changes lives. You can get your next zero. You never know. You may make it your next 10 zeros, your next 5 zeros, your next 2 or 3 zeros to be more realistic. But you can, if you got 100, maybe 1,000. If you got 1,000, it may be 10,000. 10,000, maybe 1,000,000 if you put the work in and you do the right decisions. But the traders are a little different. Even the ones who are investing, done right, the way we do. We talk about our crypto strategy in the Discord. That can be used for stocks as well. And people that are doing that and taking profits when they're up, and then taking that money, putting it in a stock, putting it away, and only added red spacing their buys out, only adding when it's lower, will end up, you know, not saying they're going to come out looking like Warren Buffett, but they will, will make a huge, huge difference instead of buying the dip every day until they run out of money. And that's what people constantly want to do, and it's just not the market for it. And we've been saying that for a while now. So we can see a support level here at 160. This is the IWM. Watch about 160.30. We come down and almost touched it here. We're below the 200. MACD still rolling to the downside. Your RSI is down here. I can see us. Would say we could probably get an oversold bounce here, but it's definitely not going to be much more than that. We are still bearish. We could still see more downside without even getting an oversold bounce, but I would like to see a push up here, to come back. Like, this is the IWM. It filled the area for the flag. Was the first area to watch, was the base of the flag, to move down to the base of the flag. We tested it, broke below it. I would like to come back and get a retest of this level and then take a move down. That's what I would like to see to trade it, basically. IWM 15-minute chart. This one also, I knew the IWM didn't put in a low yesterday, but I really thought the Qs did. So, MRO, big pullback yesterday. And, we were watching energy for the short side the last few days. You can see Meta coming down here. This is like a little wedge type play here. But it keeps testing this area, and just here it actually gapped off from it right back into the resistance here. But you can see it's losing its width. It's getting more narrow, or heading into what you would say like an apex. But we're pounding on the support down here, steady bumping its head on the support. I think we could see more downside. I would like to see it push up, retest the 9, and then continue down. I would like to see a little push to cool some stuff off. Meta, you can see it's been trading tight. You can draw a trend line right on this, and it would help give you give you some ideas for Monday's trading, where to start. So you have Microsoft's daily. I added a couple months into this chart. Looks a lot like the S&P right there. You actually have it's not textbook, but you have kind of a head and shoulders pattern on here, but it's not textbook, but you can see some of the levels. So right now we have hit this level right here. Looks like the 251.70, 251-ish area, 250, 251-ish area. We have tested that, still pretty much holding it. I would look for this next step down here. I don't have a level marking it, around the 231, 232 area. If we take this out, I would like to take it out, retest it, and then push down. Microsoft weekly chart. Here we go. Downtrend, in a downtrend. The downtrend got even worse here. Testing this support level. I would look for 220 to be 220 would be a major level of support here. Wow, let's go back. Something don't look right. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong tag. I said 251. Look for 242-ish area right through here. That's the level to keep an eye on now. I was looking totally at the wrong tag. And that gives us this 241.89-ish area there. If we take that out, let's look for, 220. If we take 240 out, we'll look for 220. And looks like we have an area in between them. So we're looking at the weekly chart. We're going to take those two. We would actually go to your daily and look to see what we can find on the daily. And it looks like about 231-ish, 232-ish would be the next level down if we lose this 242 area right here. Glad I seen that. I don't want anybody getting any bad numbers. MRO, we broke through this support. We said yesterday or Thursday, we said this week that that was the area to watch. If we get below that, go short. Look at this bearish volume just pouring into it. There's no place left to hide. They're just selling everything right now. Not really what you would call capitulation volume or anything like that. They're just cutting loose everything. We'll still watch and we'll catch them when they start buying something. We will be on it, whether it's value, gold, whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll see it. We will be on it. Just like the energy plays, we call it the energy plays at the turn of the year. The steel plays, the chemical plays, wheat, all of it we were on. When the money turns, we'll be on it again. So Oxy testing a support level here. This is the daily chart. We were bearish. This candle pattern right there got below this 50, put that candle pattern in, and we said go bearish. Down on support now. Maybe, textbook. Let's go back for 1 second. Textbook, I would like to see a test of here, then come back. This 9 will work its way down over the next day or two and let a candle come back up and retouch the 9. The mean is the 20 on the Bollinger Bands, but I would be happy just to see it reconnect with a 9 and then continue down. Palantir broke out of this flag and is trying to show some strength. Had some strength yesterday. Not quite doing what I expected, to be honest. I expected to come down and at least get to the bottom of this. It's actually a rising wedge. To get to the bottom of this rising wedge, we got breached it here, got a down candle, got a down candle, and putting in a support level here, putting in a base here, forming a support level, and we will see. Just have to see. We got a nice strong candle here. The 9's coming right down on it right now. That's the big spot. Where does it open Tuesday? If it opens, stays below that 9, there's a good chance we may see some bearish side. If it opens above that 9, we may see a push up. This chart looks good here. It's not textbook. Got a little rough cup here. Put a nice little base here. Come back, test and support. It did try to peak above it, pull back. This could push. This 50 could come up, and we could try to push. That's why I say it all depends on where we open. See where we open Tuesday morning. Keep forgetting that day off. SoFi, we have this gap up here. Trended nicely the last 2 days. It's tried to push up. I mean, nothing, like Tuesday wasn't a huge move, but it's moving up. We do have this gap here. See how we act when we get to that gap. Make sure if you're trading this that you have that gap. You at least draw a square. Put some lines up. I like to draw squares. You don't have to do what I do. At least have those numbers down. That's SoFi coming down here into this little wedge. We said the other Tuesday, no, maybe Thursday, that this was forming, possibly going to come down here and put a base in here and possibly form a wedge. Just have to see what it does. Has room to move to the downside for more short play. The 9 is resistance. As long as it stays below that 9, the 9 will continue to push it down. It's probably going to see that support level. The question is how will it act when it gets there? So this is SPY. We took out the 363, which looking on a daily chart, there's a zone between like 364 to 363, and that's what we called for. We actually had a level of, what was it, 364.37, and I'm not sure if that's the exact number. We come within we dropped just a few cents below it on one of those push downs before we ended up taking it out. So it definitely, our level definitely held. SPY, we come up with that little higher low end that was this huge oversold rally, and we just been murdered. We got gaps everywhere in this thing. It's just awful looking. SPY, got a gap above us. If we can take this out, this is a major level of resistance right here. You can see we keep coming back, testing it. This was support here. So we tested it, rejected. Got a wick there, touching it, rejected. Got to take that level out to be bullish right now. Tesla testing this support. If this support does not hold, I'm not sure why I have this 565 tag on here. honestly. Do have support down here at 422.88. This is an older chart, and I'm not sure why that 565 tags there, but pretty simple to go to your weekly chart. Make sure you're drawing a line on this base right here. Draw a line right underneath here to where it connects with that little doji right there. The 50's coming through right there. You can see your moving averages are steady turning down. Your long terms are trying to turn down as well. Just right now, just bearish on the market, testing this resistance level. I know 620 is a big spot for Tesla. Tesla daily, you can see right here we are in a wedging in this area. Just not super healthy. If we can lose this support, of course, I want to watch for the bottom of these candles. If we can get below that 620 area, 620-ish area, we're probably going to head for the 5 range. That maybe what that 565 numbers on that last chart for, something I was looking at, in the past. Tesla 15-minute, got all kinds of stuff going on here on this chart. So getting a little crowded on here. But we have a gap up here right now. This, yesterday's highs are resistance. Basically, watch your 200 on your 15. Really would like to get above this 200 for a push up. Watch for your daily lows for the downside. UNG, natural gas, upstart. We were been short on this thing since right here. This little double top it put in. Nothing textbook about it. Doesn't have to be to make money. It's pulled down, put in a couple of DOGs here. It's trying to flag on this 9, what it's trying to do to take its next leg down. You can see there's not a lot of momentum into it. Not a lot of volume into it. Actually, the volume seems like it's been a little under average. Upstart, filled the gap here. The areas to watch would be this is putting in like a little tabletop right here, testing. If you were to draw, you would probably see it. It could possibly be the top of that gap. Since it's a weekend, let's take a minute and draw that to see exactly where we are. So that's exactly what we've done here. We've come in, we've tested the top of that gap. We'll take that line back out. We've tested the top of that gap, and we're, the 81% of the time, you close your window and you get rejected. And so we could see a small pullback here. Thing is, what's it going to do Monday? We got the 50 coming up. I'm sorry, Tuesday, we got the 50 coming up. This thing could want to push. Gap is filled, and it's getting the textbook rejection right now, not filling it. It's a good chance that it will pull back and come back and retest. Wells Fargo is trying to put in a little rounded bottom here. You got this little shakeout candle trying to put in a little rounded bottom right there. It's not, it's not perfect, but it's something to keep an eye on. Look at the MACD. Look at your histogram. You're fading. You're even got the little cup here into your RSI. The last couple of days showing a relative strength versus the market. Wells Fargo may be trying to do something. Some of the banks got beat up yesterday. Wells Fargo actually held in better than the ones that I were watching anyway. I know I looked at Goldman Sachs one time, and it definitely wasn't as trading as well as Wells Fargo at the time. 370, 60-ish, 37, 60-ish would be the area to watch for the low. We know to take that out for the short side. Want to watch yesterday's high to the upside. Looks like we filled this choppy gap here, but we did that back in this area, pushed up. Should draw a line. Looks like we're seeing some resistance from down here in this area, possibly. So it's testing this area right now. I did see some bearish volume at the end of the day. I would expect, it to push up, or if it pushes up, this is the area area of interest to look for. We want to take out yesterday's high, Friday's high, and the ultimate low would be down here from Thursday. But to go bearish, you really want to be below some of these levels. Not necessarily saying you have to be below the whole low of the day, but make sure you're keeping a good idea, like where your opening candle, where you come in, looks like it may come back and retested that area right here at the 200 and found a little bit of, or got a reaction there. So I would draw a line across there and making, just to make sure your moving averages right here, probably answering your question for you, but probably rather prefer to be below that level before I would just jump right in. ExxonMobil, we got below this yesterday. We actually said yesterday, if we get below this level, go short. You guys killed it on ExxonMobil. Congratulations. Good job. Zim, trading mostly flat here, trying to do something, but it's just not, trying to hold this 200 in here. The MACD is changing. Maybe I thought we were going to get a nice breakout here, and we just got a serious rejection. Still think there was some news or something political behind that, and I still not heard anything. I haven't went and searched, but still haven't heard anything. I still think there was something political. See what happens when this 9 gets down here with this price action. Putting in a base now, waiting on a 9. Back to AMC. Well, I hope everybody has a good weekend. If we're doing anything here that is helping you, please subscribe, like, join us in our Facebook room, or you join us in our Discord room. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Join the Facebook group. We got free educational material there. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Have a great weekend, and see you in the trading room.